Hello, 6th graders. Welcome to Big Ideas Math, Section 2.6, Dividing Decimals lesson. Pause while you write Section 2.6 lesson in your math notebook. Pause while you write today's lesson objective in your notebook. Today's objective is, I can divide decimals by completing Big Ideas Math practice with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. Today we're going to start on page 94 of your textbook. Let's take a look at the key idea at the top of the page. Dividing decimals by whole numbers. Place the decimal point in the quotient above the decimal point in the dividend. Then divide as you would with whole numbers. Continue until there is no remainder. So this is kind of like multiplying decimals where you ignore the decimal point. So you just plop the decimal point where it's going to go in the answer. You do need to be sure you line everything up carefully, and then you just ignore it and you divide. You need to pause the slideshow for a moment and write that in your math notebook. Be sure you write the example as well so that you'll have it there. Now let's take a look at example 1, dividing decimals by whole numbers. Letter A. We're going to find 7.6 divided by 4. We estimate 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So the very first thing we do when we're solving the problem is we put the decimal point in the quotient above the decimal point in the dividend. So that means you put it on the house, right where it belongs. And then we go ahead and we start dividing. So we know that 4 goes into 7 one time, and we subtract. We go 4 times 1 is 4. 7 minus 4 equals 3. And then we bring down our 6, and 4 goes into 36 9 times. So 4 times 9 is 36. 36 minus 36 is 0. So instead of our quotient being 19, like it would be if this were a whole number, our quotient is 1 and 9/10. Is that reasonable? Is 1 and 9/10 close to 2? Yes, it is. So we must have done something right. And then we are going to find 4 and 38/100 divided by 12. So we, again, place our decimal point on top of the house in the quotient where it's right above the decimal point in the dividend. 12 goes into 4 0 times. So we put a 0 on top of our house, and then we skip on over and we pretend that this is 43 instead of 4.3. We're ignoring the decimal point. 12 goes into 43 3 times. 12 times 3 is 36. And so we subtract 43 minus 36 is 7. And then we bring down the 8. 12 goes into 78 6 times. And 12 times 6 is 72. And so we subtract that from 78 and we get 6. And here we have to bring down a 0 because we can't leave a remainder. We aren't allowed to do R6. So we have to bring down a 0, and then we have 60. 12 times 5 equals 60. So 60 minus 60 equals 0. Now that our remainder is 0, we can be done. So remember that you have to insert a 0 and continue to divide if you have a remainder with decimals. And we have to check our work. 4 and 38/100 divided by 12 equals 365 thousandths. Does that make sense? The way you determine if that makes sense is by checking your work. And you check your work with the division problems by multiplying your quotient and your divisor. So you multiply the answer you got, 365 thousandths, by what you were dividing by, 12. and you see if you got your dividend. So 4 and 38 hundredths, and we did. So we know that we did our work correctly. This is why you should never have an incorrect answer to a division problem. Turn the page and let's look at the key idea on the next page. Dividing decimals by decimals. Multiply the divisor and the dividend by a power of 10 to make the divisor a whole number. Then place the decimal point in the quotient and divide as you would with whole numbers. Continue until there is no remainder. This sounds really complicated, but if you look at the example, it's not so complicated. All you do is you move the decimal point to the right as many places as you need to in the divisor, and then to make it a whole number. So it's between the 1 and the 2. You need to move it one place to the right in this example. So it goes from there to there. And you need to move it the same number of places to the right in the dividend. So you need to move it from between the 4 and the 5 to between the 5 and the 6. So your new problem is 45 and 6/10 divided by 12. So the book is correct. You are multiplying each number by 10, but it's really just sliding decimal points. Do pause and write this example and explanation in your notebook. Now let's take a look at example 2, dividing decimals. We're going to find 18 and 2/10 divided by 1 and 4/10. So you put 18 and 2/10 on the inside of the house and 1 and 4/10 on the outside of the house. So you're multiplying each number by 10, so that just means you're sliding your decimal point 1 to the right, and if you slide 1 to the right, you have to slide them both to the right. So your new problem is 182 divided by 14. You can do that easy cheesy. So 14 goes into 18 one time, and don't forget to do this, to place your decimal point above the decimal point in the dividend. 14 goes into 18 one time. 14 times 1 is 14. 18 minus 14 is 4. Bring down the 2. 14 goes into 42 3 times. And 14 times 3 is 42. 42 minus 42 is 0. So you are done. And you need to check and make sure that your answer makes sense. So your answer is 13. And if you turn your facts around and multiply, 13 times 1.4 equals 18.2. So you're correct. And then you're going to find, for letter B, 273 thousandths divided by 39 hundredths. So in this one, you have to move your decimal point 2 places to the right to get 39 hundredths to be a whole number. So you're turning that into 39. And then you have to move your decimal point 2 places to the right in your dividend as well. So your new problem is 27 and 3/10 divided by 39. So you put your decimal point on the top of the house in the quotient, right above where it is in the dividend. 39 goes into 27 0 times. So put that 0 in its spot so you don't lose anything. And then 39 goes into 273 7 times. You might have to do a little math off to the side to know that, but it does. And when you subtract, you get 0, and so your answer is 7/10. You can check your work by multiplying. Let's keep moving on to example 3, inserting zeros in the dividend and the quotient. So when we divide 2 and 45 hundredths by 7 thousandths, we need to move our decimal point 3 places to the right in order to get that 7 thousandths to become just a 7. But I only have 2 places in my dividend, so that means that I need to add a 0 on the end. So my new problem becomes 2,450 divided by 7. I'm going to divide that out. 7 goes into 24 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. I subtract and get a 3 and bring down my 5, and then I am dividing 35 by 7. 7 goes into 35 5 times, so I put my 5 on top of the house. 7 times 5 is 35 exactly. So 35 minus 35 is 0, but I still have a 0 on the end, so I'm not done. So I have to do 7 times 0 is 0 and put a 0 down there. So my answer is 350, not 35. And when you check your work, if you had put 35, you would realize that you were incorrect, that you would have gotten 245 for your answer when you multiplied 35 times 7, not 2,450. So you have to be very careful and remember to check your answer by multiplying the quotient by the divisor. Example 4 is your real-life application. How many times more cellular phone subscribers were there in 2011 than in 1991? Round to the nearest whole number. So we are going to look at the graph, and it says from the graph there were 331.59 million subscribers in 2011 and 7.6 million in 1991. So we need to take the big number and divide it by the small number. 331.59 divided by 7.6. So we move our decimal point 1 to the right, and I missed the part where we estimated. We estimate 320 divided by 8, which equals 40. So we move our decimal point 1 to the right in both the dividend and the divisor, and we have a problem of 3,315.9 divided by 76. 76 goes into 331 4 times. 4 times 76 is 304. 331 minus 304 is 27. We bring down the 5 and we get 275. 76 times 3 is 228. 275 minus 228 is 47. And so we bring down our 9, and 76 goes into 479 6 times. 76 times 6 is 456, and that is 479 minus 456 is 23. And this time we don't need to keep adding zeros because in our directions it told us to round to the nearest whole number, so we can stop and we can round. And since 43 and 6/10 is closer to 44 than it is to 43, we know that we can round to 44. And we also know that our answer is reasonable by checking it against our estimate. Remember, to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson, you need to complete your notes in your ISN, complete your on-your-own questions in your ISN, and submit those in Google Forms. And remember to complete your Big Ideas math assignment in your math notebook and submit that when it is 100% correct. Ask your teacher if you have any questions.